Talk live from Snappy Tomato Pizza. Chris Brinkley with Coach Jason James as the Skyhawks are set to make it to the Ohio Valley Conference postseason tournament. They're set to take on Morehead State on Wednesday night. Coach, I've never talked about the restroom here at Snappy Tomato Pizza, but in the restroom, in the men's restroom, I've never been to the women's restroom, there's a giant poster. Have you been in there tonight?
Yeah, I just in there and
okay,
I saw
so
it.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a giant poster, and it's the UT Martin schedule, and there's one W or L beside one game, and it says a win over Murray State. Congratulations on that win a few nights ago.
Thank you.
So you noticed it too.
Yeah, I did. That's the first thing I noticed when I was in the bathroom. Good game for our guys. They carried out the game plan. We knew what we had to do, but there's a big difference between knowing what you have to do and doing it. And in that game they did. 40 minutes. We executed on both ends. We played with confidence. We played free. We made shots when we had to. We made our free throws. I mean, everything came together, especially on the defensive end. I was really, really pleased with our guys on the defensive end.
Tough place to play. We were 0-22 at Murray. I guess you had been a part of about 11 of those games or something.
Half of them.
Half of them. I had seen 13. There had been years we had gone to Murray and we should have won.
Yeah, well, I don't know if before Thursday I'd ever been a part of a team that went into Murray and should have won, to be honest with you.
Even in Lester's senior year?
No, Lester's senior year, we got beat 15 or 18.
But I felt going into it, Coach, we had a chance.
I felt like we'd be okay until shoot-around. There's just something about that place. When our guys walk into the gym, I don't know if it's the lighting, I don't know if it's the banners, I don't know if it's the mystique, I don't know. But we don't shoot around well in there. And we don't play well in there. And being honest with you, we did not have a good shoot-around on Thursday. We were very, very lethargic. We weren't enthusiastic at all. We had no energy. We looked a little bit timid at the shoot-around. And I had to say some different things to them to kind of wake them up, if you will, and I don't know if that worked or not, but there's just something about that building. We have not played well in that building. Doesn't matter who's on our team. That was the first game that we went in there and dominated the game.
Yeah. You said we did not do well in the shoot-around. Most fans have not ever seen a shoot-around. What is the purpose of a shoot-around, and how aggressive are you?
The purpose of the shoot-around, in my opinion, one of the main purposes is to get our guys acclimated to the setting, the rims, the background, the different dead spots on the floor, the different angles that are tougher than other angles to shoot from. And we want to make sure they get shots up in the gym they're going to play in that night. So to get comfortable with shooting in that gym, I think that's first. And some other reasons we have shoot around are to kind of go over the other team's offense, defense, last-minute things we can do to guard them or prepare for them. We go over some last-minute things that we need to do on our end to know how they're going to guard us and how to attack them. And so we go fairly hard. I mean, I don't like quiet at practice or shooting around. I mean, quiet to me means you're either thinking too much or you don't care enough to say anything. And so I encourage a lot of clapping. I encourage a lot of hooting and hollering. I encourage positive attitude. And on that particular shoot-around, we didn't have any of that.
You ever had a player get hurt during shoot-around?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we have. BJ got 8 stitches
Eastern
in shoot-around.
Illinois.
And he couldn't play in the game.
Yeah.
And that's probably not the first time. Mike's tweaked an ankle or two in the past, but nothing where he couldn't play.
I hear a lot of fans in the pregame warm-ups watching the players shoot, even at the NBA level if you go to an NBA game, and a lot of the shots are clanking off the rim. Does that mean something?
I mean, it depends on the player.
Yeah.
Some guys don't shoot well in pregame, and they come out and make shots, and some of them make every shot in pregame and come out of the game and don't make one at all. I mean, I think it depends on the player. I think it depends on that player's preparation, and I deal with more than just if the shot's going in or not. Their attitudes, their mannerism, how they're moving. If they're walking the spots and missing shots, they're probably not going to play well. But if they got a little pep to their step, a little bounce to them, and they're sprinting the spots and still missing, they'll probably be okay.
Yeah, and you make sure that your players take that seriously.
Well, we try to, especially in the shoot around the day of the game, and we try to start earlier, getting their mind on the game. Sometimes there's so many things that go on throughout a day that we may have a shoot around from 11 to 12, and then from 12 to 7, who knows what they're doing?
Right.
And that's kind of frustrating. But
do you try to encourage them to do certain things?
If we're on the road, we try to encourage them to get off their feet and not be on their phone, tweeting or talking on it. No, get into a place where you can rest and you can listen to your music and get into the game, whatever your role is in the game. At home it's a little bit more difficult because there's a lot more things going on with classes and study halls and going here and running around here, and more people who are calling you, and so I think it's more difficult at home. But on the road, we want them to be focused. I mean, I know I harp on it a lot, but something we try to get into our guys is being prepared to play mentally. Prepared to play, knowing your job, knowing what you have to do, and then focusing on that, and knowing every step that needs to be done on your end, and then when you get in the game, being able to execute that.
You said a few minutes ago, acclimated to the floor, dead spots on the floor. You mean it's 2013 and there's still dead spots on some floors?
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of dead spots, especially the floors that can be lifted.
Yeah.
Or covered, or moved.
Yeah, that's a lot of NBA floors because they share their floors with hockey rinks. And
and I guarantee you there's dead spots on just about every NBA floor in the league. I promise there are.
What do you need to, as a player, a dead spot is here. What does that tell you?
Don't go there.
Really?
Yeah, if you can avoid that area, or be smart enough to know if you do have to go in that area, you have to bounce the ball a little bit harder when you get to that area. And so that's why it's important to.
You see that, too. I see that in the NBA all the time because those guys obviously are not watching the dribble. It's just a feel. And you expect that ball to come back to your hand at the same pace.
Right.
And if you hit a dead spot, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's probably not going to. So I think it's important to know the floor, know the court, know the different spots, and know where you can attack, where you probably shouldn't attack because it's a dead spot.
The depth perception, and you talked about Murray, or where was it, Austin Peay? You compared it to the Staples Center, or no? We were somewhere, and you talked about the
Belmont.
Belmont. What's the ideal situation for a player, or does it vary?
I mean, that's a tough question. I don't know if there's an ideal situation for where a guy can make a shot. I'm an old school dude. I mean, I'm from way back. If you can shoot, you can shoot. Mm-hmm. And I think more important than trying to figure out, man, this is a good shooter's gym, this is not a good shooter's gym. When you get into that gym, go through the same routine that you always go through. Shooting is muscle memory anyway. So in a shoot-around, go through the same routine, start in close, then back up, make sure your follow-through is right, make sure your elbow's in, make sure your knees are bent. Go through the same techniques that you've always gone through, and then when you're in the gym now, it's not crazy blowing you away. I mean, I think it's just important for them to see it. Not necessarily have to change something, but just to see it. So when they show up for the game, they can say, well, I've never shot in this gym. I'm not really sure how it'll feel. Well, you do know how it'll feel, but you have to go through the same things and try to prepare the same way.
Right, and don't psych yourself out before you ever make a shot or miss a shot.
Yeah, which is difficult for some shooters.
I would think, though, the situation at the old gym at Sanford would have been a less than ideal situation. That's the only place that really comes to mind.
If you're playing at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, with the hanger and the sun coming in, you probably will have a difficult time shooting into the wind or the sun. Yeah. I guess not the wind, but the sun, with the big window on the end, the garage door.
Yeah.
And so, that place could be difficult to shoot in depending on when the game was. If it's an afternoon game, you better hope that you're going the other way first, and hope when the second half starts, the sun's going down.
It's almost like wanting one side of the field in football.
Yeah, no question. That's the only gym I've probably been in where it's like that, where when you're going one way, you're okay, but when you're going the other way, man, that sun's getting you.
They're not in the league anymore, and they have a different arena.
They got a nice gym. I mean, very, very nice gym now. I mean, the garage door's gone.
We'll take a break, come back, we'll talk about the Skyhawks and the matchup coming up on Wednesday with Morehead State with Coach Jason James from Snappy Tomato Pizza on the UT Martin Skyhawk Sports Network.